A very long time ago, there was a small village in Somalia in eastern Africa. On the edge of the village there was rich farmland where the people grew their crops and tended to their sheep. The village was very beautiful, but it could also be very dangerous, and it was sometimes hard to protect the crops and the sheep from neighboring villages or dangerous thieves. There was even talk about dragons that would come in the night and burn the crops and eat all of the sheep and goats. In order to protect themselves from such dangers, the villagers raised lions from birth, who later became guardians of the land. The lions were strong and proud, and looked after the crops and the animals, and kept the village safe. They were loyal to one another, and would fight to the death if ever it was needed. But one day, a lion cub was born who was different from the others. Unlike the rest of the pride, this lion was born with red eyes that glowed like fire. This made the other lions uncomfortable, and so they named the strange cub Bahdoon. They named the little cub Bahdoon because they felt as if he did not belong with them in the village. Life was not easy for Bahdoon. He was treated badly and never invited to play with the other cubs. He grew up lonely and was always reminded that he was different. His red eyes singled him out from the rest of the pride. The mean cubs would often call him names and play tricks on him. Eventually it was decided that Bahdoon should be banished from the pride, and so he was told to leave the village and never to return. Poor Bahdoon entered the jungle all by himself to start his new life of solitude. He was very sad and often very lonely. At least he was not surrounded by the other lions, who always made fun of his red eyes and always reminded him that he was different. The years passed and Bahdoon grew into a big, strong lion. He was very good at hunting and made a life for himself in the jungle. But he was always lonely, and he would often walk to the edge of the jungle. He would look down upon his old village. He would admire the brave lions standing guard over the animals and the crops, and he wished with all his heart that he could join them and be accepted back into the pride. It was on one such night that Bahdoon first saw the fierce dragon swoop out of the starless sky and attack the village. The dragon burned houses and crops with flames from its mouth, and snatched sheep from the ground with its sharp talons before disappearing into the night. The lions tried their best to defend the village, but the dragon was too fast and too strong. Many of the lions were killed that first night as Bahdoon watched helplessly from the jungle.